Hello everyone, my name is John and welcome back to the channel. Now today we're going to be talking about titanium dioxide. Now this is something that if you saw it in the hardware store, you would know it to be pigment in white paint. But in the US food system, it is the same product that makes powdered donuts white. The same chemical that makes salad dressings look fresh. Now the European Union banned this chemical in the food system because it has the ability to accumulate in your organs. So they no longer allowed it to be sold to their citizens. But US companies are still using this exact same chemical because of its visual appeal. Today in this video, we're going to be breaking down the chemical that has no nutritional purpose whatsoever. It only serves to trick the eyes. So let's get into it. In 2022, the European Union banned titanium dioxide as a food additive, citing safety concerns after a comprehensive scientific review. The same year, American consumers continued eating this chemical in thousands of products with full FDA approval. This isn't a minor regulatory disagreement. It's a fundamental split on how to handle uncertainty about food safety. And it reveals something troubling about how differently American and European agencies protect their citizens. Titanium dioxide, labeled as E171 in Europe and simply titanium dioxide on American ingredient list, serves one primary purpose: making food whiter and more visually appealing. It's the reason your ranch dressing is pristinely white, your powdered donuts have that perfect coating, and countless candies maintain their bright, uniform colors. This chemical appears in thousands of food products available in American grocery stores. By some estimates, as many as 11,000 to 13,000 different brand name products contain titanium dioxide. Skittles, M&Ms, powdered sugar, coffee creamer, frosting, chewing gum, and even some medications rely on it for their appearance. The substance itself is chemically inert in large particle form. It doesn't dissolve or react with other ingredients. For decades, this stability led regulators to consider it safe for consumption. But recent research revealed a critical detail that changes everything: size matters. Modern manufacturing processes create titanium dioxide particles so small they're measured in nanometers, billionths of a meter. These nanoparticles behave very differently in the human body than the larger particles used in early safety testing. Unlike larger particles that pass through the digestive system relatively unchanged, nanoparticles can cross cellular barriers, accumulate in organs, and potentially interact with biological processes in ways scientists are still discovering. European Food Safety Authority scientists found that up to 50% of food-grade titanium dioxide consists of these problematic nanoparticles. American food manufacturers use the same production methods, meaning U.S. products likely contain similar nanoparticle concentrations. The concern isn't theoretical. Laboratory studies have shown that titanium dioxide nanoparticles can damage DNA, trigger inflammatory responses, and disrupt cellular function. While these studies use laboratory conditions that may not perfectly mirror human digestion, they revealed biological effects that weren't apparent with larger particles. After conducting a comprehensive review of thousands of scientific studies published since 2016, the European Food Safety Authority concluded in 2021 that they couldn't establish a safe daily intake level for titanium dioxide. The agency didn't prove the chemical causes harm. They determined that the available evidence made it impossible to guarantee safety. This led to a complete ban on titanium dioxide in food products across all EU member countries, effective as of August 2022. Companies had to reformulate thousands of products, find alternative whitening agents, or accept less visually perfect appearances. The economic impact was substantial. Major food manufacturers spent millions developing new formulations, and some products simply disappeared from European shelves rather than undergo expensive reformulation. But European regulators decided that uncertain safety wasn't acceptable when the chemical served purely cosmetic purposes. If titanium dioxide only makes food look better without providing nutritional benefits, why accept any potential risk? The FDA reviewed the same scientific literature that prompted Europe's ban and reached a starkly different conclusion. American regulators determined that the available evidence didn't meet the legal standard required for banning food additives in the United States: reasonable certainty of harm. This regulatory approach reflects a fundamental philosophical difference. European agencies ask, Are we certain this is safe? American agencies ask, are we certain this causes harm? The FDA's position centers on the argument that laboratory studies don't necessarily predict real-world effects in humans. They point out that people have been consuming titanium dioxide for decades without obvious widespread health problems. American food manufacturers supported this position, arguing that reformulation would be expensive and potentially compromise product quality without clear health benefits. Industry representatives emphasized that alternatives might be less stable, more expensive, or create their own safety questions. Here's what makes the American position particularly puzzling. Many companies selling products in both markets successfully reformulated for Europe, while maintaining American versions with titanium dioxide. For years, this created an uncomfortable reality. Mars removed titanium dioxide from Skittles sold in Europe in 2022 to comply with the EU ban, but American Skittles continued to contain the additive. The European version maintained essentially the same taste and consumer acceptance, just with slightly less vivid colors. This dual-market approach revealed that titanium dioxide removal was technically feasible and economically manageable. Companies weren't avoiding reformulation because it was impossible. They were avoiding it because American regulations didn't require it. Now, for 3 years, Mars Inc. operated a massive nutritional double standard. So after the 2022 EU ban of titanium dioxide, Mars successfully removed the chemical from the Skittles being sold in the EU, but keeping that same chemical in that same product being sold to American children. So internal actions proved that it was not only technically feasible to do so, but it was also economically feasible. The European version of the product tasted the exact same. Not only that, it was just as popular. So they didn't keep it in the American version because they had to. They left it there because the FDA didn't require them to remove it. It took a class action lawsuit and public shaming in 2025, just last year, for them to finally voluntarily remove the chemical, giving U.S. consumers of the product the same safer recipe that's been sold in Europe for years. Then something changed. In May 2025, following sustained advocacy pressure and a class action lawsuit, Mars voluntarily announced they were removing titanium dioxide from Skittles in the United States. The reformulation happened without any FDA mandate, proving that consumer pressure and legal accountability can drive safety improvements even when regulatory agencies don't act. Other companies have followed similar paths. Dunkin' removed titanium dioxide from its donuts in 2023. Multiple manufacturers have quietly reformulated products in response to consumer concerns rather than wait for regulatory requirements. This pattern demonstrates something important. The market can respond to safety concerns faster than regulators when consumers demand it. Recent research has focused on titanium dioxide's potential role in inflammatory bowel conditions. Studies suggest that nanoparticles can disrupt the gut barrier and trigger immune responses that contribute to digestive inflammation. This research is particularly relevant for people following anti-inflammatory approaches like MAP30. If you're working to reduce systemic inflammation through dietary choices, consuming chemicals that may promote inflammatory responses seems counterproductive. The gut microbiome research adds another layer of concern. Studies indicate that titanium dioxide nanoparticles might alter bacterial populations in the digestive system, potentially affecting everything from immune function to digestive health. While this research is still developing, it raises questions about consuming chemicals that serve no nutritional purpose and may interfere with the very biological systems that proper nutrition aims to support. For consumers, the titanium dioxide situation illustrates that FDA approved doesn't necessarily mean proven safe by the highest global standards. The easiest way to avoid titanium dioxide is to choose less processed foods. Whole foods don't require chemical whitening agents because their natural colors are part of their nutritional value. When you do purchase processed items, look for brands that have voluntarily removed titanium dioxide. The market is shifting. More American companies are choosing to reformulate their products to match European standards, recognizing consumer concerns about the additive. In March 2023, 5 major public health and food safety organizations, including the Center for Science in the Public Interest, Environmental Defense Fund, and Consumer Reports, formally petitioned the FDA to revoke approval for titanium dioxide as a food additive. That petition remains under review. The titanium dioxide split between European and American regulators isn't just about one chemical. It's about how we approach uncertainty in food safety. Do we err on the side of caution when chemicals serve purely cosmetic purposes, or do we wait for definitive proof of harm? European consumers now eat candy, use coffee creamer, and enjoy baked goods without titanium dioxide, experiencing no meaningful difference in taste or satisfaction. American consumers are increasingly getting the same products as manufacturers respond to market pressure, rather than wait for regulatory action. The Skittles story offers an important lesson. For 3 years after the EU ban, American consumers ate a different, potentially riskier version of a candy that European consumers enjoyed without titanium dioxide. Change came not from the FDA protecting public health, but from advocacy organizations, lawsuits, and consumer awareness forcing corporate accountability. Your food choices don't need artificial whitening to nourish your body properly, and increasingly, you don't have to accept them. The market is proving that food can look appealing, taste great, and skip the chemicals whose safety remains uncertain. Sometimes the most colorful approach to eating is choosing foods that don't need chemical enhancement in the first place. So there you have it, folks. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to check out the MAP 30 program. You can find the link to that in the description. We will see you in the next video. Bye for now.